Welcome to Marketing Game Changer Secrets, where you will learn from one of the top leaders in the network marketing industry. Teresa Harding has grown her team to over millions of people. She's grown online, she's grown offline, she's grown organically, and she is ready to show you the secrets. She's ready to change the way you think. She truly cares about the success of her team and the people that she teaches. So get ready to learn the tips, tricks, and secrets that will allow you to grow a successful business in the 21st century.
I'm Teresa Harding, and this is Marketing Game Changer Secrets. This podcast is for people who know that this industry is not about the network marketer anymore. It's about the people we serve and the change we can make in other people's lives. It's about the entrepreneur inside each of us who is trying to find our voice. It's for the people who want to change the world and are looking for the most powerful way to make that happen. Hey, welcome back to MLM Game Changer Secrets, the podcast. I'm really excited about what I'm going to be talking to you about today. I've been thinking a lot about this because I just finished reading a book called Extreme Ownership. So what I want to talk about today is, whose fault is it really? And sometimes this is a topic we don't want to face, but the reality is, whether you're just looking at starting a network marketing business or you're somewhere in the middle and you're having some success, but you're starting to have struggles with maybe some of your leaders or some of your skills that you're having to learn things about yourself that maybe you didn't want to face, or if you're a big leader and you've already created a massive team and a huge downline. Well, we deal with a lot of issues, and I'll tell you this. As a network marketer, one of the hardest things is that we are quickly put into this spot where we are the CEO. We're the CEO, we're the CFO, we're the COO, and we haven't been trained for any of this. Before I did network marketing, I was a stay-at-home mom. Doesn't mean I didn't have a lot of skills. There were a lot of things I was really good at, and there were a lot of things I wasn't. But business was not something that I had experience with. So when I started my network marketing business, guess what? I had to learn from scratch. So I'm so grateful to the heroes of the industry in the past who took the time to write books, who took the time to document the things that they were learning, because I'm telling you what, you guys have saved my learning curve. You have shortened my learning curve like you would not believe. I still had to go through the school of hard knocks in a lot of ways. But one of the most powerful lessons I learned is that we need to take ownership. We absolutely need to take ownership. If we can't acknowledge that the things in our business are our own responsibility, then we will get stuck. And you'll notice in your business, every level that you get stuck at, once you start taking full responsibility for everything that's happening at that level, because the things that happen in your business when you first start are different things than the things that happen when you're making $1,000 a month. And those kinds of things change when you're making $5,000, when you're making $50,000, when you get $100,000 and more. I am telling you, those things change. And the things that you have to acknowledge your responsibility for are different. You have different problems. You run into different issues with leaders. Now you're working with, as you get bigger, you're working with leaders who are big, and they're dealing with big things on their team. So all of that morphs and you learn as you go. But the real truth is that it doesn't matter what level you're at. It's totally all your fault. And for those of you who get mad hearing me say that, I want to tell you that the book that I just read, Extreme Ownership, and I'll put that link down below, it is phenomenal. And they talk in detail about how we need to take ownership for every single thing. And the beauty of it is that it makes it so that you can control your business. The hard part is you have to take ownership. You have to admit that there was something I could have done better. But the easy part is that, wow. So if that really is my fault, if it's truly my fault, then I can change it. If it's absolutely someone else's fault, well, then there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do because, it's their fault. So I don't have any control over that. And now what I'm not saying is that they don't have a responsibility as well. But I don't care what their responsibility is. If it's kind of like when you're in a relationship and you can apologize. You can either apologize and say, well, I'm really sorry, but you did this. That's not extreme ownership. What that is doing is saying, well, dude, I'm willing to meet you halfway. I did something and I'm willing to say I'm sorry, but you did something and you need to apologize for that too. True ownership is when you really kind of don't care what the other person did or didn't do. They are responsible for their own selves, not because you don't care about them, but because you understand that they're on their own journey and their journey is not your journey. They can be wherever they are in their journey, but you're not going to let that change the direction you need to go. So you absolutely accept them the way they are and where they are, but what their behaviors are, it doesn't really matter. That's not going to change what you are doing. So if I'm really in that place, and let's say we're talking about this relationship like we were talking about, I'm going to go to that person. Maybe they did something that really hurt me that was even worse than what I did to them. Maybe they were really unkind and I just didn't respond very well. So I'm coming to apologize that I didn't respond very well. Well, if I'm really in this place of extreme ownership, I'm not worried about what they did or didn't do. They can worry about that. And if they ever feel like they need to come and apologize or they need to do something about it, great. That will be awesome. But it doesn't matter to me either way. I'm still going to care about them. I'm still going to help them. I'm not going to let myself be taken advantage of or treated a certain way. And that's great. I'm going to be healthy about it. But when that is the situation, I'm going to come and say, in extreme ownership, I'm going to say, hey, I am really sorry. I don't like the way I responded. I felt hurt by what was happening. I responded badly, and I don't like that. And I am sorry. I'm going to try to make sure that I don't do that again. I don't care if they apologize. And it's not because oh, fine, you don't have to apologize. It's not about that. It's about extreme ownership. And I can promise you, no matter where you are on your scale of building your business, even if you just are looking to get started, if you can learn that lesson faster than I did, your team will grow so much faster. Because I'll tell you the interesting thing that happens. When you take full ownership, extreme ownership, and you just know that everything that happens in your business is your fault, you start to recognize ways that you can fix it. As long as you stay in the mindset that, well, it's partly their fault, or it is their fault, or it's because so-and-so did this. Yes, you can do that. And I have so been there. No judgment here. But I'm just saying, what happens is let's say you go for 3 days having that attitude. That's 3 days that your mind is not open to any possible other options because you're thinking there is no option because it's not your fault. The minute you take extreme ownership, guess what happens? All of a sudden, you know it's your fault. So your mind starts thinking of 100 different ways that you can absolutely change it. And it's crazy. You start to wonder if you're kind of brilliant because when you take extreme ownership, your mind comes up with these amazing ideas, and everything you listen to, everyone you talk to, everywhere you go, you're getting bits of information put into your brain. And guess what happens? It's all going in there, and your brain knows there's a problem. That's your fault. And so it uses all those pieces of information to try to figure out a solution. You're not looking for a solution when you don't think it's your fault. So I would absolutely recommend that book. It's phenomenal. It truly has changed my life. For years, my entire adult life, I have worked so hard on overcoming blaming other people and really trying to not allow that into my space. But I will tell you, and after reading that book, and maybe I did a better job after reading the book because I've worked on it for so many years, but I was able to change a lot faster after reading that book. And I see major changes with my employees, changes with my spouse, changes with the way I interact with myself even, and the way that I think of myself and what I can accomplish and what I can do. And I'll just tell you, I am accomplishing, and I'm not exaggerating, 10 times more in my day, and I have more free time. It's crazy. So think about that. Look at the ways that you're doing that in your life and try to up-level that skill. Try to change. Try to accept that it's your fault. And I promise you, the first time you start doing that, this is what's going to happen. You're going to start thinking, okay, well, it's all my fault. Well, that's not fair because she did this or he did that. So how can it be all my fault? You're going to have this fight inside of yourself over and over. But if you could just hear my voice going, dude, take responsibility, it will absolutely help. So if I need to be the voice in your head, let it be me, let it be whoever it needs to be. But good luck with that, and I will catch you in the next episode.